Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel, the number one place for people who love design, art and all things creative. My name is Laszlo, you are watching Dante and Balog's channel, and this video is all about the use of graphic design in the movie industry. Is it any good?
It's not very movie-like, is it?
Okay, let me try again. That's better, isn't it? No? Okay. As I was saying, this video is all about the use of graphic design in film. There is this whole seemingly undiscovered world of artists and designers working in the field of film graphic design. And honestly, I think some of their work is so good it needs to be talked about, so I thought let's do just that. In terms of graphic design work in the movie business, we can talk about two different branches. There is pre-production design and there is post-production design. Post-production design is the stuff that we are all familiar with. These are the big and shouty marketing materials a TV show or a movie needs once it's out there. Posters, TV ads, logos, trailers, that kind of stuff. But in this video I want to focus on pre-production design, the intricate design work that oftentimes is hidden in plain sight on the screen. Stuff that usually just flies over our heads. Whenever a movie character picks up a newspaper, or opens up a letter, or walks by a window shop signage, those are all props which have been designed by graphic artists. I want to talk about 3 different types of movies, 3 different levels of intricacy that is needed from film graphic designers. We will talk about movie graphics which aim to recreate the world, the real world that we live in. Then movies which are kind of taking place in the real world, but they are a more heavily stylized version of our reality. And then movies which take place in fantastic, imaginary worlds. Are you ready? Let's go. Now the reason I wanted to start this video with Quentin Tarantino's very famous signature car boot perspective shot is because he's got a very unique approach when it comes to design work featured in his movies. Tarantino famously hates advertising, so he avoids working with brands at all costs. Which sounds counterproductive since he's such a big name in the movie industry. I'm sure a lot of brands would pay good money to be featured in a Tarantino picture. Still, he repels most of them for a very simple reason. When a brand deal happens on a movie project, really complicated contracts get put in place, which are usually not much more than a long list of do's and don'ts communicating to the filmmaker how exactly would the given brand like to be perceived by the audience. Just as an example, rumor has it that Apple only allows movie makers to feature iPhones in a project if those iPhones are being used by the good guys. So basically, they don't want their phones being used by the villains of a movie, because that just doesn't align with their brand vision. If you think that's silly, get this one. The ill-fated James Bond movie, which has been put on hold since last April, apparently requires reshoots because of certain brand deals. I don't know if you have noticed, but James Bond movies typically tend to have a lot of product placement. James Bond always have the latest smartphone, James Bond is wearing an Omega watch, James Bond is driving an Aston Martin. Now, if the rumors are true, these brands are forcing the filmmakers to do some reshoots, as the movie is contractually obligated to showcase the latest and greatest of the given brand's product line. But since a year has passed from the original release date, the original shots with the original branded products have been deemed outdated. Minuscule things like this obviously would annoy someone like Tarantino, who writes and directs all of his movies and plans everything way ahead down to a T, and would not like to get his vision compromised by possible restrictions and such. So, to avoid all of these, what does he do? He features imaginary brands instead of real ones. Every hardcore Quentin Tarantino fan knows that whenever a character has a smoke in a Tarantino picture, they smoke the fictitious Red Apple cigarettes. This brand is featured in Pulp Fiction, in Kill Bill, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, pretty much all of his movies. And this is just one of the many imaginary brands that keeps getting mentioned in his movies. There is Teriyaki Donuts, there is the Big Kahuna Burger, many other fake brands which inadvertently created what we call the Tarantino cinematic universe, connecting all these different movies by the power of graphic design. Very clever marketing. Now obviously all of these fake brands needed some fake graphics to go with it, and because movies are usually being branded by the directors, the writers and the producer's name, oftentimes it's quite hard to actually hunt down who designed these works. Pulp Fiction's IMDb page mentions 2 on-site graphic designers, So this package has most likely to been designed by Chris Cullen or Edgar Martinez. Chances are it was a collaboration between these two, as well as the prop master, the art director, the production designer, and so on and so on. Obviously, movies are huge productions, collaborations of hundreds of people at a time. Hence it's very difficult to get a quote-unquote name for yourself as a film graphic designer. One name that keeps coming up though if you start googling around is designer Atkins. Annie is becoming a little bit of a living legend ever since she collaborated with Wes Anderson as the lead graphic designer for the Grand Budapest Hotel. If you have seen that movie or any other Wes Anderson production in fact, then you know how particular his cinematic vision is when it comes to the production design. Wes created his own unique perspective of the world, which is basically the same world we live in, except everything is a bit more stylish, a bit more quirky, everything on the screen looks vintage or handmade, somewhat hipsterish, in which the heavy use of graphic design is a major contributor. Annie Atkins has written a fantastic book I have read recently in which she goes into great details of how her and her team has used traditional techniques for everything we see on the screen in this movie. And many others. Annie Atkins's and Wes Anderson's visual style is honestly a match made in heaven. To tell you the truth, reading this book has inspired me to make this video in the first place, and now I'm like obsessed with the idea of doing design work on a movie production. I'll leave a link down below for the book. If you got a chance, read it, it's incredible. I think Annie is probably the only film graphic designer who has been somewhat allowed to keep her own unique style, constantly referencing historically accurate design methods, because as you can guess, movie graphic designers have to be pragmatic and always ready to adapt to the given project's overall vision they are working on. Other big names of the field like Martin Charles, for example, has such a crazy variety of styles in his portfolio. He has designed Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can, which was all about 60s style documents, as well as the now retro futuristic looking Minority Report. Or Diane Chadwick, who has made the signage work for one of my favorite movies, Tim Burton's Big Fish, an old-timey tale, as well as the branding elements for the fictional Stark Industries, Tony Stark's company from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All of these mentioned movies are basically taking place in our world, or a version of it, so the graphic work references real-life objects and design work. But when it comes to movies like Harry Potter and his wizarding world, the graphic work gets to a whole other level of importance, as the production designers have to create something that is brand new. The graphic work for all the wizarding movies, all the Harry Potter movies, as well as these new Fantastic Beasts movies have been created by MinaLima. Now, MinaLima is the creative collaboration between Miraflora Lima and Eduardo Lima, a creative duo not unlike me and Jacqueline, who have basically given us the look and feel of Harry Potter. I think I'm not alone in thinking that the production design of the Harry Potter movies are unmatched to this day. No other film crew has managed to create a more authentic looking wizarding world ever since, which is a great achievement given that J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter world heavily references well-known Western folklore inspired elements in these stories. We all have some basic ideas in our heads what a dragon, a mermaid or a centaur should look like, all of which have been upped in the design department of Harry Potter. Now obviously that side of things is more concept art than graphics, but the work of MinaLima has undoubtedly left a very distinctive mark on the Harry Potter movies. Now this is controversial because I think most of us would agree that the Harry Potter movies are far superior to the Fantastic Beasts franchise. There is one element that we need to talk about in this new generation wizard movies, and that is of course the production design. Harry Potter's story takes place in England in the 90s, and therefore of course there is a strong polarity in visuals between the real world and the wizarding world. The Fantastic Beasts series very consciously takes us back to the roaring 20s in New York, as well as Paris in the second one, which is a world of invention and bohemian flamboyance, where the whole idea of magic doesn't feel that much out of place. This makes the overall style of these movies just flow better with this magic concept. J.K. Rowling's wizard characters has always been designed to be stuck in the past in terms of their portrayal. The hair and makeup, the wardrobe, everyone is writing with quill and ink, so it's only logical that the hidden magical world within the real world looks better the further we go back in the past. I especially love these circus branding elements for the Crimes of Grindelwald. This Archive of Magic book is amazing by the way, letting you not only look behind the scenes, but it has all these little graphic prop replicas. See them for yourself and you will understand where I'm coming from. This book has genuinely challenged my perspective of a movie, which I have to admit wasn't blown away by initially. Or is it just me and are you guys all Fantastic Beasts fans? Let me know down in the comments. Okay, I hope you found this little behind the scenes video entertaining. Hopefully it sheds some light onto the secret world of movie graphics and the art of film. I'm gonna leave some links down in the description about all these artists that I mentioned, in case you wanna do your own research and learn a bit more about them. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a big like, because that really does help out our channel a great deal. And feel free to join our little design tribe so you're always in the know when we make a new video about art, graphic design, illustration, architecture, interiors, all that cool stuff. Take care guys, and I'll see you this time next week. Bye!